Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. Who will own the entire company or parts of the company by November of 2026? So, what we know is obviously there are three companies that are bidding for Warner Brothers Discovery: Paramount, owned by David Ellison; Netflix, owned by Ted Sarandos, or whatever the fuck his name is, and NBC Universal slash Comcast. Now, a lot of interesting things have been going on. We'll probably know who will be the owner or which bid was accepted by Christmas, and I'm almost certain Matt Bellany or Dylan Byers at Puck News will probably be the first to break it, or Lucas Shaw at Bloomberg. But what we know is Paramount, of the three companies, Paramount is the only company bidding for the entire part of all of Warner Brothers, which means the studio lots, the studio, the streaming services, the channels, and CNN. NBC apparently is bidding for just the studio and the streaming stuff, not the cable networks. Netflix is similar, trying to buy everything but the cable networks. And it seems to be the Netflix aspect of the buy has been brought with such resistance from all of Congress and already from the DOJ. A lot of people still view Netflix as a tech company that's masquerading as an entertainment company. And I think it's just disgusting if HBO is just a tile on Netflix. And nobody believes that Netflix will still release movies in theaters if they own the Warner Brothers thing. Ironically, it has taken, about 2 to 3 years for Warner Brothers to rebuild its goodwill over the last 4 years. Because if people forgot, in 2020, well, the entire 2021, they said, "We're gonna do day and date on HBO Max because of the pandemic," and a lotta talent was very angry. This is what led to Nolan going to NBC. Then what happened is, as Zaslav took over from the Discovery merger, he started just shelving movies that were completely finished, like the Batgirl, the Looney Tunes movies, etc. And it took a 2-year process for Zaslav to rebuild the trust from filmmakers because a lot of people didn't want to work at Warner Brothers. But he gave that special deal to Ryan Coogler and goddamn, there's a fucking fly in here. Sorry. All of it. And now it's ironically, they've had the best box office of all the studios this year, because it wasn't just successes like Superman and Minecraft, but it was also Sinners is a hit, Weapons was a hit, One Battle After Another is hit. 3 of these movies are gonna be nominated for Best Picture. Almost all of them are gonna be nominated for Oscars in some category, not just Best Picture, but Best Actor, sound, costume, etc. So that's the interesting part of it. Now this is not inside information, but from I've asked people in the know, right? In regards as because a lot of people are wondering because Warner Brothers isn't just HBO, right? It's CNN, it's the lot, it's the studio. There's all this other aspects of it. A lot of people believe that at least if it's Paramount who gets Warner Brothers, that similar to how before the Barry Weiss takeover of CBS News, was that HBO, similar to how HBO has always acted in all of these regimes, will act independently from the rest of the company. Meaning Casey Boys and James Gunn will still be the head of everything to do with the TV networks, right? Casey Boys has always been in charge of HBO and HBO Max, and James Gunn is in charge of anything DC related. And it seems to be the alleged rumor is that if it's the Paramount sale, which is what I believe will happen, I believe Paramount is going to get the entire company no matter what, for a lot of reasons. Not just that the fact that Trump is best friends with Larry Ellison, really enjoys David Ellison, but the CNN aspect of this is that we all know, Barry Weiss legally cannot operate as if she's going to own CNN, obviously. But the assumption is, right, that if Paramount buys Warner Brothers, Barry Weiss will also be in charge of CNN in the way she's in charge of CBS News. And look, I like Barry Weiss. I'm a huge fan of the Free Press. I subscribe to it. Everyone who works at the Free Press is hot. That's just a side note and a factual thing. I assume she will clean house at CNN in the way she's been cleaning house at CBS News, that all the more activist journalists or staffers are gonna be cleaned house, and the only people safe at CNN are probably the ones that, the general public do value, right? Harry Entel, Caitlin Collins, one I think is one of the most attractive women in news. Scott Jennings, if Scott Jennings isn't running for Kentucky Senate seat, Abby Phillips, Jake Tapper, Cooper, um, I guess Wolf Blitzer, and I really don't know who else kinda really matters at CNN, and this is, like, the real aspect of it, is about to just figure out who will matter, because in reality, only, as I said, the names I could think of, those are the ones that people kinda value, and Caitlin's obviously, like, the face of CNN. There's no way, like, eventually, I truly believe, like, Caitlyn will go the Megyn Kelly route. I don't mean, like, but I think she could easily be successful with her own, like, podcast company, etcetera, after the Trump administration. I don't know how she does this whole thing where she's, like, the head White House reporter and does her show and all this shit, but you go, Princess of Alabama. Hopefully, who knows? No one knows it. I heard she's on Raya. So, listen, if you bag Caitlin Collins, the girl best dressed woman with great eyebrows, good for you. But I'm sidebarring here, right? No matter who gets the bid, which I assume it'll be Paramount, because I do not know why Ellison wants to do this. Not Ellison. Zaslav wants to do this split because they're the only people that want to buy CNN. Now, allegedly, if Netflix, I don't, there's no way Netflix is going to get approval from the Trump administration or Congress or any of this. So that basically only leaves Universal and Paramount. What was interesting is that Universal doesn't want the CNN aspects, and Universal already just cut ties with MSNBC, which is now multiple scoliosis now, right? They only wanted the things that have value, which is the channels. I don't know if people really want that. I know NBC has, it's out of TV stuff, the parks and all the other shits, they're similar to Disney in this. I just think it's gonna be Paramount, and I think 'cause Ellison's has said that we want to keep the production going for how movies and TV are, right? So whatever is the current Warner Brothers output and whatever the Paramount output is, we wanna increase both, and both studios will theoretically, in the way that Disney is operating with Searchlight and the Fox part, will operate independently, right? That Casey Boys will only have to answer to to David Ellison. That's it. He will completely be able to do whatever he wants, because the alleged thing is that Zaslav will stay as like CEO of HBO and basically be doing the same things he does now. And we finally can have the real merger of TNT and CBS, because already March Madness operates this way, where some March Madness games are on TNT and some March Madness games are on CBS. And finally, having everything under one house is better. Obviously, this means that HBO Max and Paramount Plus will merge. And most likely it will be because HBO Max is just the better app design than Paramount Plus. The Paramount Plus app is such a complete shit show. So the whole merger of the two apps together is good. And look, a lot of people are gonna lose their jobs no matter who buys it. You don't need to add the marketing and all this other bullshit. I think it's good. I think Barry Weiss being in control of CNN is fantastic. Sorry to the people I did not mention, but, like, look, I only really value what fucking Caitlin Collins has to say. I think that show where everyone yells at Scott Jennings is fucking ridiculous. Though, they do bring a lot of hot, like, MAGA baddies on the show, like, they always have what's it called? The 2 of them, the 2 hot white girls with great eyebrows are, like, MAGA chicks, Brianna Lyman and, the New York Post one, Lydia Moynihan, both hot, great, you know listen, okay? I respect hot women because I am a fuckboy. I think I've slid in both their DMs. I have no idea if they have boyfriends or whatever. They've never responded. But look, I've also slid in Caitlin's DMs. I slid it. If you're if you're a hot white girl, like I'll slid in your DMs. I will admit that. Alex Thompson, if you're listening, don't worry. I follow a lot of fucking baddies. You can follow my fucking Pinterest board of celebrity crushes. Okay? But yeah, that's it. I think Paramount's gonna get Warner Brothers. Only because A, the Trump administration will steamroll the process so this approval can happen quicker. I think Trump really wants CNN to be under control of Barry Weiss sooner than later. But no matter what, because of all the international aspects of the other countries that will try to block it and international parts they may have to sell off, I think best case, like, because by Christmas, we're supposed to know who got the deal, but the approval, I think it will be either right before the election, but it'll take a while to integrate, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's it.